I'm going to demonstrate how to create a multiple choice quiz in just a few minutes using ChatGPT and also using Microsoft Forms, so we can make our quiz interactive and then we can give that to our students to complete. So let's begin then on ChatGPT and writing our prompt. Now what I want to do is to generate a multiple choice quiz on the topic of plate tectonics, and it's going to be aimed at year 9 students. So let's make sure we're getting the prompt correct. So we need to include the role, the task, the context, and we need to be as specific as we can. So to begin with then, we need to specify the role. So we're going to say you are a geography teacher in an English secondary school. So that's our role. And then we're going to specify the task. So we're going to ask it to create a multiple quiz on plate tectonics. And then we're going to add a bit more context. So mostly we're going to specify who it's aimed at. So the quiz is aimed at year 9 pupils and map to the national curriculum in geography. Again, to make sure we spell that correctly, although we don't have to particularly spell things correctly when you're entering prompts into ChatGPT, but it's good to do so. And then we need to be specific. So we're going to create 10 questions. So normally you'd want to create you want to create more questions than you need, but just for speed, we're just going to create 10 questions because we need 10 questions in this situation. So create 10 questions with 3 decoys for each question, and provide the answers. So that's our prompt. Not too bad. So we'll set that going, and then it'll generate our questions. Now, in most situations, it's unlikely that it's going to generate our questions exactly as we want first time round, but you may need to modify the prompt, or you may wish to, as I said before, you can generate more questions than you need and then select out the best ones. So once it's generated all those questions there, what you can do is you can select them all. So let's highlight all those, and then copy those into a Word document, and then make sure that's all saved. And then from what we do then is we go to Forms, and this is the trick now, is to use quick import. We're going to import that Word document now that has all those questions in. So click on quick import here. So we're going to go to the file we've just created and save those questions to. So we're going to open that up. Right, so just need to make sure I close that down properly rather than just minimizing it. So make sure that's closed. Now if I open that up, we're going to create our quiz, so import the file as a quiz. And that takes a moment or two to complete that importing process, and then you can review it, and you then have your questions. Now it may not be perfect, and you can see there it's got the title itself as a question, so you just want to delete that, but for the moment, so you might want to delete that later on. And then you've got your questions then with all the different decoys and so on. Again, you have to modify it to put all your answers in, because it hasn't got the answers in there, but you can see there that it's basically done a big part of the job there. Obviously there's some more modification to be done, but that's pretty much it there, and that's just taken a few minutes. So that's a really effective and quick way of generating a multiple choice quiz.